Hey fellas, in response to a comment on a video I posted about stiff deltoids, got a shoulder issue. I showed a few unique stretches and things. Might be new to some. Somebody said, "What do you do if you have a stiff body or your entire body is stiff?" And then later on, I encountered a few other people that had similar inquiries. And here's a few practices that are rooted in Tai Chi that are really great morning practices. Things to do as soon as you get out of bed, as you have your cup of coffee, if you're walking around the yard on a day off, whenever you think to get to them. Uh, Three really basic practices. I'll go ahead and get to it. The first one is the Zen or the pendulum swing. The idea is to root yourself, bend the knees, stand with feet slightly wider than shoulder width apart, and you're driving from ball of the foot, lifting the heel, and as you do so, you allow your arms to swing. Very loose shoulders, a little bit of tension in the elbows, making sure you're not just smacking. Keep it looking good. You guys seen Roadhouse, y'all know what Tai Chi is supposed to look like. Loosening up, driving. It's almost a circular motion you'll make with your knees, right? So just allowing your arms to lightly slap the body, keeping it smooth. And as you do this, you can lean forward, lean all the way forward. You can really kind of get into it when you're all the way forward. Keeping the swing of your arms smooth. This is going to loosen up the upper back. It's going to loosen up the shoulders. It's going to get some blood flow to the arms, healthy blood flow to the legs, the hips. Kind of putting a little bit of tension on the hips. That's why you typically follow it up with this practice. This one's kind of real simple. You start with the arms. It's a coordinated movement, right? So you imagine this and this is the start. So starting with the arms, you'll coordinate the neck into it. Feet slightly wider than shoulder width apart. As you do these exercises, I should mention first, you breathe through the nose, allowing the tongue to rest on the palate. So it's usually an exhale, sorry, I lost coordination there. Micro bend in the knees, loose hips, and you're kind of just getting into it. This is loosening up everything that gains tension from the swing. You can get to lifting your heels with the forward, but you'll easily lose balance if you keep doing that. A lot of the times I suggest bending the knees, working the hips, keeping the heels planted. More advanced practice is to lift the heels, but when you come back from that, you can stumble pretty easily. All right, so I'd suggest, swing comfortably for 2 to 3 minutes, and then count these up. Do maybe 100 of just simply, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. As you can see, I got my feet into it there. But just do what's comfortable for you. And the third practice is one that I really enjoy. I use it in yoga a lot. Typically in Tai Chi, you'll see them with the feet kind of position one at an angle, and they'll do it in the closed stance. I prefer a wider stance. You'll also see people practicing this with something called a chi ruler. It's a wooden dowel, and they believe that these subtle energies that we drive off of are conducted through woods and some metals. So you'll see people holding them, and it's about a foot spacing you'll put between your hands. Like I said, I prefer a wider stance though. One foot pointing outward, hand starting up, and you'll start from here, and you'll inhale, straighten the knee, bringing your arms up with the inhale. You're collecting energy from the ground, collecting energy from the sun, washing it over yourself, releasing it down into the earth. This time you'll exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose, pressing the tongue against the palate. Exhale through the mouth forcefully. As you get in this practice a little bit more, you want to really take note of how you're breathing with the diaphragm. The movement is simple. Exhaling, it's an angle. As you exhale, you're lifting the navel to the top of the spine as you can into the diaphragm. Exhaling, you're pushing down. Or inhaling, you're pushing down. Right? So you'll work towards the knee. The hips feel comfortable with it. If you can really get into it, if you're a younger guy, I suggest doing 5 like this, and then 5, allowing this energy to completely flow over the body, loosening up the back of the legs, some tight hamstrings, those hips just a little bit more, and you'll alternate. Do about 10 on each side. Coordinating the breath with the movement. It's real basic, but it's going to loosen everything up. It's really energizing practice, so it's great for waking up in the morning, something to do with coffee. I like doing it in the grass. I feel like being on the earth itself is more grounding, but I'm surrounded by stickleburs. This tile's kind of hot, but it's a natural surface, you know, closer to natural, closer to being on the ground than standing in the house. So I suggest doing it outside wherever you can do it comfortably, and do those 3 in that order. Like I say, just start with the swing. Loosen it up, get low, kind of try to maintain a pace. Keep a smooth, steady, slow rhythm. Don't get too crazy into it. From there, bring your feet together a little bit. Find the rhythm, stick with it until it feels good and natural. In the widened stance. It's a circular flow with breath, arms are moving, energy flowing over the body. It's being released down into the earth. See, the idea is that as we stress throughout the days, the things we hold on to, we kind of we tank our energy. We kind of allow our stress to modify it in a way that's not so good for it. But as you release this energy back into the earth is our filter for everything, for water, for energy, for all resource. It is what maintains us and sustains us. So the belief is that you're bringing in the good and allowing the earth to filter out the old. Take care of that for you. Trust in the earth, trust in your grounding. Just replenish yourself with healthier energy. About 3 rounds of 10 to 20 on each side, 2 to 3 minutes of swinging, 100, and like I said, 3 rounds. Great practice in the morning. It'll wake you up really good. It'll loosen up the entire body, and it's not very stressful. Not a bunch of crazy stuff. I don't have you doing anything like that. If you are up to something like that, I'll post another video with a few sun salutation or Surya Namaskar modifications or just different versions. That'll follow. So you guys have a good one. Stay tuned.